Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barca, where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer developments. We start with none other than Jules Kounde, as a recent report have emerged claiming that the reason behind Barcelona getting ahead of Chelsea when it comes to the race for Kounde is because of their payment method. We are going to be discussing on that report as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Chelsea captain and right back Cesar Azpilicueta, Sport have reported that the Barca's pursuit of Azpilicueta is in deep trouble with the renewed possibility of Kounde's arrival. We are going to be discussing on that as well. So guys, as we get right into those stories in much detail, please endeavor to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. If you're just coming across my channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Also consider liking the video and watch the video right up to the very end. Barcelona seem to have gotten the better of Chelsea for the second time in the current summer transfer window. The Blaugrana snared Rafinha from Leeds United earlier this summer when Chelsea thought they had the deal all wrapped up. And history could be set to repeat again, with Jules Kounde now at the center of the transfer tug of war. Earlier this week, it seemed like Chelsea were all set to sign Kounde from Sevilla in a deal that could reach around 65 million euros, including add-ons. Despite the player's willingness to play at the Camp Nou, a move to Stamford Bridge seemed imminent, with reports claiming that everything was in order for the Frenchman to join Chelsea. However, there was another big U-turn in the situation as Barcelona, following the successful activation of the second economic lever, forced their way back into the equation and are said to have reached an agreement with Sevilla over a transfer. Now, Sport shed light on the details of the transfer and the circumstances leading to Barca arcing ahead of Chelsea in the race for Kounde. As per the report, the 23-year-old's desire to join Barcelona over Chelsea was a major factor in the sudden turnaround. On top of that, what tipped the scales in favor of Barca is the financial aspects of the deal. Chelsea, despite having made an offer worth around 65 million euros, wanted to pay Sevilla the money over several installments. Such a scenario did not appeal to the Andalusian outfit, leading to apprehensions within the camp. At that time, Barcelona are said to have struck. It is claimed that the Catalans' offer might not have been as high as Chelsea's, but they promised the entire payment in one go, which seemingly convinced them to shake hands with the Catalans. The report adds that the deal is not as advanced as being reported, with Barca yet to submit a written offer. But once that is done, the transfer is expected to speed up. When news broke out yesterday about Barcelona, overcoming Chelsea for the race of Jules Kounde, of course, what comes to many people's mind is like Barca have made an offer that have matched Chelsea's own, maybe have even surpassed Chelsea's offer, but that is not exactly the case. Barcelona's offer is not up to 65 million, even though they are still to, make a written offer. It's just verbally that they have made an offer with Sevilla. But the thing that have given Barca that upper hand for the race of Jules Kounde is the fact that Barca want to pay the money all at once. It's not like instrumental payments, because Chelsea's 65 million euro offer, according to report, was planned to be paid instrumentally, something that Barca don't want. So Barca will go for pay all at once, something that Sevilla would prefer. So that have been one of the reasons why Barcelona have urged Chelsea to the race of Jules Kounde. Of course, the player likes Barca a lot. According to multiple reports, he prefers Barca to Chelsea. Nearly all the players that I've been talking about prefers Barca to Chelsea. And that have been one of the greatest factors that have, enabled Barca to win the race. Chelsea fans are mad. Chelsea is, in fact, Thomas Tuchel himself is mad at Barcelona. But come on, it's not our fault. As we have been talking about this, when it comes to transfers, the players have the player have the higher possibility. Their decisions count a lot when it comes to going to a new club. We remembered what happened with Rafinha's case. Despite Leeds United agreeing terms with Chelsea, the fact that Rafinha preferred a move to Barcelona played a key role. And of course, he finally, got his move that he wished, moving to FC Barcelona. So I think there's every reason for Barca to be optimistic, to be very confident that they will get their star man in Jules Kounde. because the player likes to play for Barca as opposed to Chelsea. So there is no time to waste. Barca should do fast and send that official written offer to Sevilla so that this deal can be wrapped up as soon as possible. Then on to the next story of discussion. The possible arrival of Jules Kounde at Barca could create a roadblock in their negotiations for the defender, since if they miss out on the French centre-back in Kounde, Chelsea could stop on the transfer of the player. Cesar Azpilicueta is one of FC Barcelona's big targets in the transfer market ahead of next season. The Spanish club have long been negotiating, for the fullback, but his team from London, Chelsea, would not allow his departure. The player is very clear that he wants to move to FC Barcelona, but his future would depend on Chelsea, who are now battling with the very same club to sign Jules Kounde as Azpilicueta's replacement. Should the French centre-back eventually sign for Barca, Chelsea, would likely cut off the negotiations for Azpilicueta. The arrival of Jules Kounde to Xavi Hernandez's project, would thus prevent the Spanish fullback from leaving Stamford Bridge for Barca, leaving the desires of both Azpilicueta and Xavi himself to end in frustration. The Kounde's negotiations have reached full gallop in recent hours with the offensive launch by Matteo Alemany and Yuri Cruyff. This situation does not please Xavi. The priority for the Barca coach is Kounde, but he deeply values Azpilicueta too. It is worth mentioning that Barca only have one pure right back in that squad, Sergio Dest. There is always the option of Sergio Roberto, but the coaching staff would welcome the arrival of a solid reinforcement for that position. For sure, strengthening the right back has been one of the priorities for manager Xavi, and it seems as though that is now at risk just because of the battle with Chelsea for Jules Kounde. And Chelsea are not seeing this any funny at all. They have lost out on Rafinha, and they don't want to lose out again for another player. And if Barca go for Kounde and succeed, as it looks like they are going to succeed over Chelsea again this time around, Chelsea are reportedly going to block the departure of Azpilicueta. Of course, this will be a big blow to Barca when it comes to our right back reinforcements. But what can we do? It's not our fault. The player like to come to Barcelona. So I think it's now just up to Xavi to think at other alternative. But we've been getting reports that Xavi will likely leave that right back without any new player and maybe use once at a time. Jules Kounde is versatile. He can play right back sometimes, or you can still use Ronald Araujo. Araujo have been playing right back sometimes last season. So Xavi can do that while waiting for the January transfer window to maybe go for other options in the market. So as it stands right now, the pursuit of Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso for left back is very, very complicated. Except things change. But the way things are showing, Chelsea does not want to release those two players to Barca, especially as Barca have dealt with Chelsea this summer transfer window when it comes to targets. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.